Hi, my friends. My name is Miss Lenora, and I'm here with Omtastic Yoga today to bring you some St. Patty's Day yoga. So, St. Patty's Day or St. Patrick's Day is a holiday that started in Ireland. Now, Ireland is quite a long ways away from us. I'm going to show you a little map. Over here, over here, I'm backwards, is the United States. That's where we live. And way over here is Ireland. So between us is a lot of this blue, which is our ocean. So could we walk to Ireland from where we are now in the United States? Nope. First of all, it would be a long walk. But second of all, there's a lot of water there and we can't walk on the water. So there would be a couple of ways we might be able to get there. One is by boat. So let's come into boat pose. If you're seated in your chair, you can just lift your legs off the floor. But if you're on the ground, you can bring your legs out a little bit. You can hold on here if you like, or you can let go, work your belly muscles, right? And this is our boat floating along in the water. Now, I'm going to grab my oars and I'm going to push one side and then the other, kind of like a kayak, and we're going to row all the way to Ireland. I'm just kidding. We can't row all the way to Ireland, but we can pretend, right? Another way that we might want to go, which is a lot easier, would be by airplane. So let's come into our airplane or make our airplane with our body. And here's how we do that. We lean on one leg. We balance on one leg. This can be hard. So it takes a little practice, right? Let's lift one leg behind us, lean forward, look ahead, spread your arms out. Those are your airplane wings. And maybe we turn a little to the left, turn a little to the right. Maybe we wobble, and that's okay. Let's try the other leg. Getting into our airplane, the last leg of our flight, standing on one leg, other leg comes back, shoulders down, looking ahead, balancing as best you can. So what do we do to balance? We focus on one thing with our eyes, and we don't let them stray away. And that keeps our focus in one spot. Okay, so we took our trip over to Ireland, and if you looked at it from the sky, I honestly can't remember which way this goes, but if you looked at it from the sky, what color is it mostly? Green. And that's a color that we associate with Ireland and also with St. Patrick's Day. So the reason that we celebrate it that way is because there is so much green there. There's green in the grass. There's green in the hills. So let's make, now here in Colorado, we have, we'll do a seated hill, okay? We have mountain pose that reaches us way up to the sky in Colorado. But in Ireland, the mountains are much older and so they're much smaller. So we'll pretend this is our hill pose. A hill is just a small rolling area of land. The other thing that's green, we have a lot of these as well, but not as many as Ireland, are trees. So let's do our tree pose. You may know this one. I'm gonna lift up just a little so you can see the whole thing. We lift one leg, another balancing pose. We're gonna stand on one leg and lift the other one. And we can bring it right down to our calf. That's the part between your knee and your ankle. Or you can bring it down to your ankle. So today I'm going to be a big, wide apple tree. You guys pick what kind of tree you're going to be and then come into your still tree pose. Can you remember to focus on one thing? That's what helps us keep our balance when we're on one leg. Let's switch it out. Stand on the other one. Don't get frustrated if you fall out of it. You just practice more. Press your foot against your leg, not against your knee. Okay, you want to be below or above your knee. Relax your shoulders, become another kind of tree, maybe an evergreen tree, or maybe a willow tree, any kind of tree that you like. Okay, so that's why we think about green. But there's one other thing that we find in Ireland that we do not have here. I'm going to show you a pretty picture of it right here. This is part of the ocean. So there's something called ocean breath. that we're going to practice today. And there's many different kinds. The one we're going to do today is just one of them. We'll breathe in through our nose till we're full, and then we're going to exhale with this sound, shh, like you're telling somebody, shh, okay? So let's breathe in nice and tall. Exhale, let it go, shh. As long as you can, shh. Keep going, shh. Breathe in again through your nose. Exhale, shh. Inhale. Exhale, shh. One more time. Sounds just a little bit like waves maybe in the ocean. So the St. Patrick's Day is Ireland is surrounded by ocean. That means it's an island. And when you're surrounded by ocean, you may, there's a story about snakes in Ireland. So let's see. So Ireland is known for this holiday, and his name is St. Patrick. And you can see that down at the bottom here, he has some snakes. He's almost always pictured with snakes. And there's a story about that. It's said that he came to Ireland and got rid of all the snakes for them, banished them into the sea. But in reality, there were never any snakes in Ireland, and there still aren't. And the reason has to do with that water, remember, all around it, the snakes couldn't get there. So Ireland is a country with no snakes, and St. Patrick did not get rid of them. But we'll do snake pose anyway. So snake pose is the same as cobra. We come down on our belly, or we bring our arms to our sides and our hands underneath our shoulders. Zip up your legs, that's your cobra tail. And on your next breath in, lift up. And breathe that fresh air. On your exhale, bring it down. Snake in the grass again. Inhale, lift it up. Push a little bit into your hands. Lift up. Exhale, breathing out. Come on down. One more time, lift it up. And this time we're going to slither a little bit, and we're going to, like a snake. So we're going to slither back and forth, and we're going to make a sound. Good snakes. So even though he did not get rid of the snakes, they still have a holiday after St. Patrick. And the reason is that he taught the people of Ireland a lot about his religion. He was a religious man. But guess what? He wasn't from Ireland. St. Patrick wasn't Irish. Another thing we don't know about, right? So he was born in England over 1,000 years ago. So this is a long time ago. And when he was just 16 years old, he was kidnapped by people from Ireland, the bad guys from Ireland, and they brought him back to Ireland, and he worked as a shepherd. I'm going to show you some of the cool sheep that live in Ireland. Oops, other way. So that's some of our sheep friends. Lots of sheep live in Ireland. So, so he was captured and sent to Ireland, and he stayed there for 6 years, and then he escaped. Oh, I was going to do a sheep pose, but you know what? I don't know what sheep pose might look like. So can you help me make one? Okay, let's see what your sheep look like. I'm going to start on all fours because they do have 4 legs. I know that, but I don't know what else they might have on them. They're very big and bulky, and they make a funny noise. Who knows the noise that they make? Bah, yeah. So let's make a little sheep noise, bah. And we're going to look up and we're going to like bah at the moon, bah. And then we're going to pull down and we're going to bah down at the ground. And then we'll come back to center. So that's going to be our sheep pose for today. And if you think of a better one, you go ahead and do that. But anyhow, he escaped from Ireland and he went back home to England, and he learned more about his religion. And then he went back to Ireland and he taught the people about his religion. And that's how he became known as a saint. Now, one of the many things that he used to teach his friends in Ireland, his students in Ireland, was a shamrock. They look like this. Okay, and they have 3 leaves, and each one of them looks sort of like a heart. You see that? 3 hearts put together. And the shamrock symbolizes something really special to us. There's 3 things. One is faith, one is hope, and one is love. So that's what the 3 petals on the shamrock mean. Now, if you find one with 4 leaves, a 4-leaf clover, it's supposed to bring you luck because the 4th leaf represents good luck. So if you see a patch of clover, you can always go and look, get real close and look through all of them and see if you can find one with 4 leaves. They're very hard to find. Anyway, now there are some magical, mythical creatures that are made up from stories from Ireland. And they tell great stories. And this is one of them is these little people called leprechauns. And leprechauns are kind of like fairies, but they specifically make shoes. They cobble shoes, that's their job. And they play plenty of practical jokes. So got to be careful with those leprechauns. They're very tricky. We're going to do leprechaun pose, which is really just a form of horse pose. Our legs come out nice and wide because they're small, okay, short guys, and they move around very quickly, okay? So they might be here and then they might be there. Do that with me. Come over here and then come over there. And then you might wiggle yourself over this way and wiggle yourself over that way. And in your horse pose, we're going to come down a little bit lower, making it leprechaun pose, a little bit lower, making a smaller leprechaun, lower, making a tinier leprechaun. Oh, my legs started to shake on that, huh? So then straighten your legs and come on back down to a seat. Now, the leprechauns are practical jokers, but they are said to have pots of gold. Each leprechaun has his own pot of gold. Can you imagine? What would you do with all that gold? So here's our pot right here with our legs open, right? Making a big bowl. And then here's our pot of gold that lives right in here. And we're taking good care of it. We're going to squeeze our arms around and give ourselves a stretch, protecting our gold from those people who chase the leprechauns. Now, at the same time, we can do another pose. This is for shamrock pose. It's called flower pose. And we bring our hands underneath our legs and we lift ourselves up. We lift our legs. And this is flower pose. So we can use flower for shamrock today, okay? So this will be our shamrock pose. Come on back to a seat. Now, the pot of gold is said to be at the end of the rainbow. Good. So let's paint a little rainbow today with our breath. Let's dip our paint into our red paint first, our paintbrush into our red paint, okay? And on our inhale, we're going to lift up and paint a big red stripe all the way over to the other side. Now, who knows what color comes next on the rainbow? Red, orange, dip in your orange, lift up tall, exhale, sweep it all the way down. We made our beautiful orange stripe. Now we're going to go to yellow, dip your paint. Inhale, lift up, exhale, sweep down. Next one, green, inhale, lift, exhale, come over. And inhale with blue, in and out. Take your time, make a big sweep. And the last one we'll do is violet. And all the way down, or purple. Okay, so underneath the rainbow, at the end of the rainbow, is supposed to be our pot of gold. So let's do rainbow pose. There's a lot of different rainbow poses as well. The one we're going to do today is on our knees, and we bring one hand down. And we bring our upper arm over, and see how we kind of make a rainbow shape? Kind of like a curve. That's our rainbow on one side. And then we come to the other side, and we make a rainbow there with our bottom hand down. And we lift up tall and over, and we make our big rainbow shape. Okay, this is also called side plank. Okay, so you can, it's said that they're so quick and tricky, those leprechauns, that we never get to find the gold at the end of the rainbow because they disappear. They're way too quick for us to follow. So we never find where the leprechaun has hidden the gold. But we can look for those four-leaf clovers and try to find our luck there. So I want you guys to have a happy St. Paddy's Day. Now that you know St. Patrick was not Irish and he didn't get rid of the snakes, but we still celebrate the holiday. And if you say St. Patty instead of St. Patrick, it's with a D. Can you see that? I don't know which way it goes. It's with a D, okay? So it's not with a T. We say St. Patty like it's the short name of Patricia, but St. Patty in Ireland is D, P-A-D-D-Y. So if you write it, you can write it with two D's instead of two T's, and you'll be correct. Okay, thanks for coming today. Have a great St. Paddy's Day. Bye.